start button and then the 20-minute walk to get over to the bench.
The walk back over. Yep. Awkward shuffling and getting into position.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's Jeff and it's Shea. It's the Dirty Pool podcast, but we're doing something a little different. This time it's actually live. It's in person. You may have seen this format when I talked to Carl about Winchester, a little game that some of you may or may not know. But today we're talking about something else. It's the shilliest episode ever. But it's self-shill because I asked you to please come on the podcast to talk about something.
This was not a marketing ask. This wasn't like, please let me promote my shit. It was, hey, let's come on and talk about some cool stuff.
And specifically what we're the cool stuff that we're talking about is it's pinball swag.
Pinball swag. Yeah.
And probably, I'm going to go on record saying this, the best pinball swag that is currently available on t-shirt format on the internet.
That's very humbling. Thank you.
But it's true.
Yeah.
Can we give a sneak peek to some of this?
Yeah. Obviously we were actually both already wearing. I came, to self-promote. I do that for almost everything I do. I'm constantly wearing all my own merchandise. But aside from Centaur and Monster Bash, there have been greats like Black Knight.
I'm going to dive in and grab some of these too.
Yep. Black Knight 2000.
You got the Bash?
Yep. Got the Bash. And the backs now. Yep. Got the back designs.
Do you want to double fishtails at the same time? Shall we?
You do the front, I'll do the back. Ready?
Okay. Oh, shit. I'm not ready. Oh, 3, 2, wait. Front, shit. I failed the assignment. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Whoop.
Yeah.
Slightly out of focus, but that's okay.
That is okay. You can see these in person if you own them on your body.
That's true.
Yep.
Which you can get on Counterflip. We'll talk about that a little bit.
We will talk about that a bit later.
So let's reel it back. This design work is incredible. You obviously have an extreme talent for doing not motion graphics, design graphics, vector, raster, whatever the base. Where did this start?
Man, I have been doing art my entire life. Like most of us in the creative field, it always comes from that moment where you drew something and some teacher was like, that's great, you've got skill.
Do you remember that drawing?
No, not at all. I have ADHD, so I don't remember half of anything. You know? I only remember half of everything, basically. But when it comes to like dates and things from the past, I could not tell you when, where, why, or who. But I've basically been chasing that same high my entire life of someone saying, you're really good at that. And then, being a kid in school and everyone's like, can you draw this for me? And then already understanding capitalism, being like, are you going to give me any money?
Right, that's smart. Yes, Start that business early. If you're a small human being that is doing something in school and people like it, make them pay for it.
Yeah.
That's the way.
If you love playing pinball and you are a child, monetize that love.
That's true.
Yep,
that's
exactly. And if everything you do, you should monetize. Every hobby you like, monetize it.
It makes you enjoy it more.
You're going to love life doing that, and you won't be tired every day.
You got to put up hashtag sarcasm here, otherwise.
Trying to make it obvious. Yeah. Literally just kind of starting from those humble beginnings, I eventually got a computer, started learning Photoshop, started understanding how illustrative design, painting, all of my creative talents then worked towards a digital format. And it was just really just part of the times. I took a bunch of classes in high school. I went to college, and you mentioned media arts, which is funny because I went to college thinking I was going to do like media arts and animation.
Sure.
Doing like motion design and stuff like that. Yeah, oopsie. That didn't work out. But it was hilarious going to college and having kids be like, yo, you watched the new episode? And I'm like, episode of what? And they're like, Avatar, bro. And I'm like, I don't watch that. And being just like super out of the loop. But anyways, living in Chicago, moving from Michigan, living in Chicago, I then got in the music scene. And when you're in a music scene, you're often just constantly making stuff for your own bands. And then eventually that builds out and you're making stuff for other people's bands.
Sure.
So the idea of making artwork for something, which is what graphic design really is, to help promote, to give an idea, just expanded through music.
So I don't know a whole lot about music and the music scene. So can you explain a little bit about like what it is to be into music and doing touring stuff?
Yeah, I mean, touring never quite happened as often as I wish it had. But starting up in Chicago, that was existing in basement scenes. So literally like in the Midwest, we have basements. Here in California, you often don't have as many.
I miss basements.
I grew up in basements. Yeah. Like literally like my room was always in a basement growing up in Michigan. Yeah. It's the greatest little like cozy space just for yourself kind of thing.
Right.
But existing in Chicago, the scenes, you had a bar scene. Yep, sorry.
This stupid thing. Who thinks they can fly around during our interview?
Guys, this is important.
Stupid.
We're shilling t-shirts here.
Yeah. It's not like we're...
There's these pockets of scenes in Chicago where you've got your bar scenes, you've got your big stadium shows and whatever it might be, and some of the bands that get bigger. but all of us existed just playing small house shows, you know, and it's weird and different in many different areas, but did vocals in a punk band, started to learn how to play the drums poorly in essentially just like a noisecore, grindcore project. Just
awesome.
Playing as fast and as sloppy as possible. We tried to sound good, but that didn't work at all.
I think what a lot of people don't realize too is that playing like larger venues that have a ton of people standing around is not nearly as satisfying as an artist to playing a smaller venue that is filled with people who are like absolutely jamming out to you, whatever you're
100%.
It's just, it's night and day.
So
the band scene, I'm assuming this opened the door of doing graphic design for banners, albums, all sorts of
100%.
merch.
Yep.
So
yeah, I mean,
tell me about that.
It kind of started with one of the first bands I was in, which started as a joke, was called Hawaiian Punch.
Okay.
Yep. And then I did all the illustrations, but then I laid everything out through Photoshop, and then got J cards printed, everything DIY. You know, as you start, like for any aspiring artist, designer, whatever it is, start DIY, do everything yourself. Only outsource later as you grow. But and then from there, other people were like, hey, will you make a flyer for this show? I was doing tons of flyers as well. So then I started doing it for other people. And someone was like, hey, can you make my J card for my tape? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. And thinking back, it's crazy when I was charging people $40 to essentially lay out their entire cassette, front, back, J card, you know, labels, promotional materials.
For the people that are maybe a little too young,
do
you want to explain what a J card is?
Even though I'm 34, still a young gun.
God, that makes me feel old.
J cards, cassettes. You've got your nice little plastic tape that you would go in your mom's stereo or your dad's stereo
or your grandfather's.
stereo.
For some of you.
For some of you, your grandfather's stereo. But inside of that, there's a Norelco case, a little plastic case. Norelco was a brand, and in that was a literal J-shaped piece of paper that would have all your artwork, information, track listings. That's what a J card is. And so designing a lot of those became a huge focus, and then eventually started to do like some CDs. 7 inches, those are records, not, you know,
EPs.
Not CDs, little EPs, you know, 7-inch records. And then it morphed into actually doing, you know, LPs, doing, you know, full 12-inch vinyl records. A few projects that have been, you know, still ongoing, stuff I've done somewhat recently. So music was a huge passion, and being able to put all of my art into that created a foundation and an ethos to my practice, which is where it then falls into what I do here.
Well, so that's the other thing that obviously this is getting to pinball.
Yeah.
Because this is a pinball channel. And at some point, pinball, like,
all this leads
revealed itself to you.
Yes.
But your Apparel also has a whole film side to it.
Yes.
And you are a pretty big film buff, right?
I am.
We have the Dracula shirt someplace.
Oh, yeah. Actually, wait. This
there it
one.
is.
Yep.
So even though this is a pinball machine, it's a better... Actually, it's not a better movie. It's a better pinball machine.
Wait. It's not that I disagree, because I both think equally are incredible.
Right, but totally different ways. One is an experience that is amazing, and the other one's amazing because it is terrible. In any event, so the bands led to media and pinball.
Yes.
What was that?
Yeah, I mean, so after going through music, essentially moving out to LA is what made me a cinephile. Was already massively interested in films.
That's not someone who like... Right?
No. I mean, I would, but I don't know if that's actually comfortable. So a film lover, an enjoyer of cinema would be a cinephile. It's not cinephile. People do call it cinephilia, which is then it gets it, you know. The Epstein files. Oh no. But so then being here in LA, you have access to so many incredible screenings, movies, actors, directors. You really become ingratiated in this entire scene of Hollywood. But you get to exist with it outside of all the like Netflixification. You can
and
go to all
rare formats like Vistaprint
too.
Even though they tried to burn down the theater recently.
That's what I heard at the Vista, and
not intentionally.
No. The film print for One Battle After Another caught on fire, and that just shows you when you're trying to use old and outdated, film stock and
get
technology.
Someone who knows how to use it.
Yes, bad things can happen. But yeah, we get access to 35 millimeter prints, 70 millimeter prints of like 2001: A Space Odyssey and Boogie Nights. And anyways, so taking all of that design practice, I was working at Brain Dead, which is a clothing brand based out of here in LA. They also own a movie theater. So when I was working with them, I started, doing a few projects that were film related, and at the same time leaving Whole Foods. I was with Whole Foods for 11 years, working retail.
I was like, were you doing graphic design for Whole Foods?
I was actually.
Really?
Yeah, I kind of jumped ahead
Let's
to
talk
brain
about
dead.
that.
Oh my gosh.
What would you be doing at Whole Foods for graphic design?
So Whole Foods, before it became an absolute hellscape for me, Whole Foods actually had sign artists. So very much like Trader Joe's, where you'd walk in and the grocery stores have, somebody doing like, hey, pistachios, $3.99. They do it all by hand.
I feel like this is one of the most underappreciated kind of like, I wouldn't call it graffiti, but I mean, it's essentially like it's mural art.
It's mural art.
Yeah.
It's typography. A lot of people who do it, who are sign artists, came from the graph world, They came from doing graffiti and getting really into typography and hand lettering. And I met some really great sign artists, people who actually do that as a profession. It's a dying art. Because we get into a world where just, large scale vinyl graphics are just printed and slapped on windows.
Right.
When you could have a real artist do it by hand and it looks so much better.
It's also sad that the things that are dying arts, they're not paid more to help keep it alive.
No, they're usually paid
they're
less.
paid less.
Yes,
Yeah, which is unfortunate.
And that's eventually what happened with Whole Foods, is that when they had sign artists, I got hired for a new location that was opening, and I got to do all of the promotional signage, all their sales every week, lots of digital work, calendars, promo materials. And then Amazon came in and they laid off the marketers, and then they laid us off.
Yeah. I mean, Amazon does improve most things that it gets its hands on. So,
no, absolutely. Everything is better
good.
with Amazon.
I thought you were going to hold. You went down and up, and I thought... All right, good.
So then they got rid of all of us, which only makes things better. And then I moved out to California. So that's when I started, then work. I was still working at Whole Foods at a different location. It was sucking the life out of me. And I was getting such into films and movies and had been throwing around ideas of doing t-shirts.
Right.
The idea of bootleg t-shirts have existed for a very long time, usually from the space of music and comic books.
Right.
Because those are the ones where people are looking for shirts that are $400.
But I have to ask you, when you talk about bootleg t-shirts, the quality of the shirt is usually shit.
Yeah.
Your shirts are not shit.
No. I do my absolute best to make sure they are quality.
So,
yep.
What was the learning curve of first shirt that you manufactured? Also, what was the design of the first shirt you've ever made?
Yeah, well, the very first shirt, now we're going back. The very first shirt was when I was 15, and I tried to start a clothing brand with a friend of mine.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So this is really the reboot.
Yeah, it's been going on for a while. I tried to start a clothing brand. I worked at a really cool designer toy store. Okay. Very in the early Kid Robot era in Michigan. And had a lot of little characters, and I was doing a lot of pop art stuff. So I tried to make shirts. It went horrible. I sold maybe 10 of them, or something like that. 'Cause I'm a kid, I don't know what I'm doing, And but so doing merchandise and shirts has been a part of my practice for almost everything.
But also kudos to you as a 15-year-old for being I should start a shirt business.
I'm gonna start a shirt business. I'm gonna start a clothing brand.
That's a pretty aggressive just thing to dive into to begin with.
Yep. So, well, I mean, I'm grateful for things like MySpace, where you're you know what, I can promote things through some sort of digital space.
They don't know what that is. Some of them don't know what that is. You remember Friendster?
I do. Yes. MySpace. It's great. Early Instagram, Facebook. That's all you need to know.
So what was the first 15? What was the design on your first 15-year-old shirt?
So the first 15-year-old shirt, and maybe I could find an image at some point.
We'll put it up. Yeah.
It was a little character I had drawn, and he had a gold chain attached to a big boombox that had a bunch of crazy colors and some sort of silly quote. I was really into the cool kids and a lot of what people would call backpack rap at that time.
Nice.
So it was very urban, and cool, and hip.
Nice.
Which is me, right? Urban, hip, cool. But yeah, so going into now living in California, desperately needed to get out of Whole Foods, needed something creative, needed something that was going to actually fulfill me while also making a little bit of money. And I was like, bootleg shirts are sick. Let's try to jump in this game. Been following a few people. I said, let's give it a go. And my first main idea was for the Lighthouse. The Robert Eggers film.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah. So my first idea was for the Lighthouse, which is one of the A24 elevated horrors, whatever you want to call it. Still my absolute favorite.
Kind of a Cthulhu-ish,
little bit of Lovecraftian vibe. Yeah. It's a little bit of just kind of two men going mad together, but then there's some tentacles. There's a mermaid.
Some day gone or some day here?
Day-o.
I still have to do my Beetlejuice episode.
Oh yeah, there we go. So
anyway,
hey, Prelude.
Excellent. Both concept and film.
Yes, yeah. And then I paired that, I love seaside horror, so I paired that with The Fog.
Okay.
Which is, again, one of my favorite John Carpenter films. And that's how it started.
Can we pump the brakes a little bit? Yeah. There's a bit of a dilemma here because we're splitting this household on out of the seaside films of these two, which is better. Do you think The Fog is better or The Mist?
The Fog, hands down. The mist is great. Although it does have a seaside feel, it's too contained.
It's not a complete seaside. It's more like Inland Empire seaside.
Yeah. You get 20 minutes, you get the storm, and everything crashes, and then they go to the convenience store, and then they're just stuck there.
Yeah.
Yep. But mist is great. Amazing downbeat ending. Yeah, whatever. He doesn't know what he's talking about. It's fine. It's okay. It's not like The Fog is like one of the greatest horror films. Spooky, great atmosphere. Anyways, and then I did one for Halloween. John Carpenter's Halloween. Did a bunch of
what movie
masks.
Is that?
Oh, it's a really small little slasher film. You know, yeah, it kind of made
like
some
a holiday.
waves.
Is it a holiday?
It's a holiday film. You kind of put it on around Halloween time, and
gotcha.
You know, it's just like
like a Home Alone
scary.
kind of thing.
People are home alone. I don't know if booby traps come into play.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah, made that shirt, and then it just started growing. So I've now been doing that for 4 years, and then getting into pinball.
I have to say, for just 4 years, if you look at your entire body of work of the shirts that are available that are pinball related, the shirts that are available that are film related, on top of the fact that you do graphic design for a little place called
Revenge of Comics and Pinball.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Do you want to dip your toe into that a little bit?
It is a lot of work, let me tell you. Yeah, I mean, as we were joking earlier about monetizing your hobbies, that is kind of what's happened. And in the world we live in, you have to make money. And you make money with what you know how to do, or you find jobs that you learn and love. And this is something I've learned and loved. And now it is a constant creative drive. Constantly. And because of that, I make really amazing connections with people, and I get really excited about what they're working on and how it connects to what I'm working on. And I want to be involved. I want to put my artwork towards what they have going on, which is exactly how Counterflip started, and so that's how pinball shirts started.
I want to grab one of these just to kind of talk about this real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's really important to notice and mention too that like of the designs that you do, you don't just vectorize the playfield artwork, slap it on a shirt and call it a day.
Yeah.
Like you reconstruct stuff, you create collages out of it to make little kind of like their own contained things that work on a shirt. Can you talk about a little bit of the process that goes into this?
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, I think if we show off the back, I can kind of show that even more as well, because it was a little difficult trying to take apart what would be the back glass and actually, putting it onto a design. Some of these features are cut off within the back glass. And a lot of times, if I don't have a game in front of me to use, I'm trying to pull up materials, promotional stuff to find good high-res images to then manipulate.
Mm-hmm. And you can see some of the half-toning on here.
Yep.
And also, like, look at the detail here, like where the actual graphic goes in front of the text here.
Mm-hmm.
It's very clearly that it was done with just care. You can see that you actually give a shit about the shirts that you're making.
Really do, yeah. That's the thing. I mean, like, there's a lot of great people who are taking cool artwork and putting it on shirts.
Sure.
But it is just slapping the shirt on, slapping the artwork on.
Right.
Whereas with these, like, I am trying to, I'm adding the stretch the truth and the fishing contest today that goes above Caster's Cabin. Like, pulling out a few of those details so that it helped represent the game more than just a singular piece of artwork.
And I don't know if you know this, but pinball people are pretty picky when it comes to details.
Yes.
So it looks like you're doing a lot of you're respecting the games by making sure that the stuff that's on here is really true to the original designs.
100%. Even going to Black Knight 2000, Born to Run, Built to Last, these were from promotional flyers for the game.
Sure.
That was how it was promoted to operators.
Which I'm kind of disappointed that pinball companies these days don't do the same. Like, I understand the market is different. And if you aren't familiar with what pinball looked like in the 80s and 90s, like most of the marketing done for them was for operators, because people that purchased pinball machines in their home were much smaller percentage of the market than they are now.
Yes,
I think Stern's gone on record saying that they think like around 70% of the people that own pinball machines are home users now.
Home users, yeah.
Right. So they don't do that kind of marketing. Instead, you get like, I'm George Gomez from Stern Pinball. You get that instead. But back in the day, you had cool ass flyers, and many of these are on Pinside. You've seen some of them on videos that I've done in the past for like Twilight Zone and Grand Lizard. And they have these crazy catchphrases and stuff like that.
Catchphrases, additional graphics, marketing slogans, like. Within my practice for film, it goes into the same practice with pinball, where I am finding details. I am finding small things. I'm researching. I'm looking through all of these available materials. Thank God for the internet. If I could go to a library and start pulling this stuff out, I would. I really love tangible objects. But most of this, thank God, to places like Pinside and Pinball Database. And exactly, like, a lot of this is being archived by a lot of amazing people who really care.
Shout out to anybody on the internet that's watching this and is an archivist that is trying to protect a hobby like this.
Thank you.
Thank you. It is not only fascinating for people like us who just like to dip into it or use it as a resource for stuff.
Absolutely.
But back to the advertising cards, I have to say my favorite thing on there is they have these they try to tell the operators how much money they're going to make. They usually try to make it a pun in reference to the game. So like for Fishtails, they'd be like, boy, these fish are big, but not as big as your earnings are going to be. And it's just like, oh my God. It's just like the cringiest piece of art that
you're going to go fishing
exist.
For new customers. Black Knight 2000, more like $2,000.
Wow, which would be a lot.
That'd be a lot back then. That'd be a lot of money, actually.
But not as much as when Black Knight came out, because that would have been like earlier.
Yeah.
You played pinball at some point, and you were like, "This is amazing! I'm going to make pinball shirts."
Yes.
This thought must have occurred at some point in your life.
It did. I mean, it started pretty early, and I am a somewhat recent pinball obsessive.
Okay.
My pinball obsession has existed about 4 years.
That's totally okay. You know what I don't like about the pinball community? Gatekeeping.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
If you just got into pinball, awesome.
Yeah.
If you've been in pinball for fucking 30, 40 years, awesome.
Also awesome. But
don't be that person.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how long you've been playing or how many games you've seen or tournaments you've played, or like I am still learning, still playing games I haven't seen before, and the obsession is extremely strong. Yeah. Like,
so you dumb new bitch, you just got into pinball. Yep. Tell me more.
Yeah, so essentially Revenge of is what got me into pinball. Started going there and absolutely fell in love. Fell in love with the game. Going back to playing a little bit as a kid with my dad. We had a cool arcade in my hometown, and so it immediately felt like I had done this before. But the absolute zone out quality, the world under glass, the artwork, everything that revolves around pinball became a massive fascination. Not only is it fun to play, but it's gorgeous to look at. And there's a massive wealth of artwork, styles, genres, and then you get movie pins. So that's where my worlds collide.
Yeah, it has music, it has art, it has movies. It's literally everything you want.
It's literally everything you want.
I'm going to ask you to hold for a second because it's freaking raining, so I'm going to close this door. So the pinball machine is a complete package for this. And for those of you that don't actually know what Revenge of is, I know there's tons of amazing arcades all across the world. I did a small video of one of the launch parties that Revenge of did. You can check that out here. I'm probably not going to put a graphic, so I'm just going to point.
We're pointing at nothing?
Just pointing at
nothing. The video's great, though. You should watch it. You did a really great job.
It's got a great soundtrack.
Yeah.
Thank you. So yeah, that's the space. Revenge of is a really wonderful place. It really does. You can tell that the environment there is designed to be part of the experience.
It's extremely welcoming, but also with an aesthetic that draws you in and feels right at home with pinball. I mean, you step into a spaceship essentially.
Yeah, it feels like a cantina meets comic book . Yeah,
100%. It's an outer space comic book bodega. Yeah,
that is a much better way of saying that.
Well, I've now worked for them for almost 2 years, but I had been going for multiple years before that. So it's just a space that I've now existed within.
What is it like seeing a place literally branded kind of top to bottom? And I'm talking wallpaper, stencils, literally the majority of the space on top of its online presence is branded with graphics.
It is pretty crazy. It's wild to see sometimes, especially when the branding gets outside of the store and we see it at conventions. We were at Midsummer Scream, and every bit of our space is branded with artwork and graphics that I have built out. And it really, when you start to see things in a three-dimensional space like that, outside of a tangible t-shirt object, but seeing it on the walls and building out branding and it just becoming this naturally organic growing thing, it's insane. To see anything you've made massive in front of you is like a experience. It's a 2001, you're looking at the obelisk kind of thing. Yep. And so, all of that, all the branding for Revenge of came from, a very small pool of materials that a lot of the guys were making before I joined in. And then developing and building on top of that with my own style. I
was about to say, you say it's a small pool of materials, but I feel you don't frequently see reused assets.
No,
when it comes to your work,
I am constantly making new shit.
So. Unbelievable.
Yeah, but I mean, when it started, the ideology of Revenge of was it's like a space station. So we've kept it very sci-fi focused.
Sure.
There are a few graphics and things I've used and utilized a few times. We have a little space explorer, but it's all edited, manipulated, and reworked in my style. Which, as we've all talked within the company, comic books are cool. The illustrative work in comic books is cool. Comic book stores don't always look cool.
No, they have kind of that ancient library appeal that like an old vinyl record store has.
Yes.
And that's cool. There is something nice about digging around just boring cardboard bins of, whatever cheap plywood that they like put together. But no, the experience of Revenge of is there's even little like art curated pieces. There's like stacks of TV monitors. There's like an old phone booth that you can go in. I mean, there's like, it's part installation artwork and also part store.
100%. Yeah.
So,
I mean, it very much falls into the idea of like how retail stores kind of became boutiques.
Sure.
And the idea of very heavily curating your retail experience. So that it also feels like a communal gathering point, which is what it is. Because of all the events we do, all of the work that goes into making it look good, making this comic book shop invitable.
Yeah.
Is that a word?
Invitable.
It's inviting.
Here, we'll do it like the more you know. You ready?
Something like that. But it's very inviting, and we create a space that is really cool to look at. So you want to go in and interact with it and explore. You play some pinball, you find a cool comic book, or a Super 7 action figure.
Quite a good collection of pinball machines, too.
26 games.
Remind me the name of the tech, because I talked to him once, and it's Joey?
Joey.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes.
Joey's not only a super nice guy, but works tirelessly to make sure that those games... I've never gone in there and seen a game off.
It happens very rarely, and if it is off, it's only off for a short period of time. Yep. Yeah, we really, really want to make sure that our games play extremely well. We put a lot of emphasis. We have, a pretty much 24/7 tech, but then we also have some team members who do a great job maintaining the games. And then Joe Kuntz, who is one of the owners, is our sort of pinball guru. He's the guy who started collecting, brought those into the space, manages, runs. He's our tournament director.
Nice.
He's our league director. So Joe is the one who brought all of that, along with Jeff and the other Joe Myers.
There's a bunch of Jeffs.
There's a lot of Jeffs.
It's not me.
And a lot of Jeffs in my life. There's this Jeff.
I'm
there's
here.
Jeff Iser.
Not over there.
My printer, Jeff. My dad's name was Jeff. Maybe I'll name a dog or cat named Jeff.
These are the Jeffs you know. These are the Jeffs you... Anyways. The other thing I really do like about the collection at Revenge of is it is not just a single Stern manufacturing headquarters of pinball machines.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong, Stern are amazing pinball machines on location. They're very reliable. Like, there's a whole reason that a lot of arcades are filled with Stern games. Like Logan, for example, which doesn't have a lot of games outside of Stern. However, Revenge has American pinball games and Barrels of Fun. They have spooky games. I mean, really, the whole gambit is there, and which is awesome. It's nice to walk into an arcade and see like kind of a nice diverse selection. You guys have a number of CGC, like there's Monster Bash.
Yep, Monster Bash.
Attack from Mars. Was there.
Attack from Mars, Cactus Canyon. Yep.
Do they have Pulp Fiction? I forget.
We have Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's welcoming to see a diverse like landscape when it comes to like pin choices.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I enjoy that we are a location for a lot of boutique manufacturers, if you still want to call them that.
Sure.
A lot
Indie.
of them. Indie. I like that. I like that better.
I had a conversation with Indie Arcade Wave, and I mentioned that the smaller manufacturers are like indie films. Because he asked me if the larger manufacturers are going to start imitating the smaller ones because of their success. And I was like, well, to really put it in perspective, like selling out of a small number run of games is successful for an indie, but it would not impress Stern. Selling 500 games would not be an amazing accomplishment for someone like Stern.
Of course, yeah.
And the indies also have the opportunity to do weirder stuff with the IPs. They can do more liberties with taking risks on like music, sound design, art, all those different things. And so I tried to frame out like, it's not a competition thing. Stern's making a different type of game. It's making a larger scale, more accessible game with IPs that are more digestible, whereas the indies can do more weird stuff. And I think it's a perfect analog to film.
Totally.
Indie studios like A24, that kind of stuff, versus, I don't know, Warner Brothers or Sony or
Disney,
some other Disney.
Whatever, Marvel, whatever you want to call it. Yep.
So that competition goal the indies need to take down Stern, that shit's got to stop.
Yeah,
it's just not...
I don't like having that kind of language, the sort of argument that as if you're trying to pit them all against each other. They're totally different markets.
There are teams that work at the smaller indie companies making the best possible pinball machines we can with the types of IPs we're working with there. And there are teams working on games at bigger companies like JJP and Stern making the best possible games that they can inside of their similar IP restrictions and types of games that they're trying to make. Enough of this takedown who. More pinball, better for everybody.
100%.
We want better games,
yes,
not better companies.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
The drive between all the companies will only make everyone have better pinball machines.
Yeah, competition's good for everybody. But again,
But
anyway,
how that relates to Revenge
you.
of, I mean, Revenge of very much exists in that same space when it comes to the collection of games we have. Is that there is, although we have a great relationship with Stern, and we love them, we love getting new games from them, we definitely are doing our best to also get newer games that are exciting from those indie manufacturers. I believe, don't quote me, Joe, if I messed up, we have a Winchester. I know
that they have ordered one.
We have ordered one.
Okay. The Winchesters are in manufacture, but the list of them that needs to go out is, I don't have mine yet. Let's put it that way, because we're making sure the customers get there first, and I don't know if that means the arcades are going to get them first either. So,
well, we're very much looking forward to it, and that is a game that when it was announced, Joe Kuntz literally probably doubled over, flew to the moon and back. This
really?
Yes, this IP.
Well, tell him that I did the music and sound design.
He is so excited. Please, come hang out and meet him. But he was so excited about it, and then as I was able to take a look and watch and learn about the game, my excitement is just as matched.
Flipping Out just did a big stream of it. Zach has one of the first. I believe they have Winchester number 001. So go check that out.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing people play it because it looks fantastic.
So you are essentially the identity of Revenge of, graphically.
Graphically,
yes.
When
you look at the style of Revenge of, sure, the inside of the place has its own kind of spaceship look, like you say.
Yep.
But when people think of Revenge of, they think of your graphic design. At least I do.
It's there, yes.
Being able to make the identity for a brand has to be pretty satisfying.
It's incredibly satisfying, and sometimes it's kind of crazy how it comes about. One of the owners, Jeff Iser, he has been working in film and television for decades, essentially, and he's an amazing creative director. So a lot of the input that I get, the prompts can be very simple, but he really trusts me to then run with it. There's not a lot of back and forth of I want this, I don't like that. That comes up on occasion, but that's just graphic design.
Sure.
But a lot of it is just the trust in knowing that I can take ideas and the sort of mythos of Revenge of and really put forward a graphic style and sensibility.
It's nice that they've also given you kind of not complete creative freedom, but the fact that they trust you as an artist to do an amazing job. And I think that it's very obvious that you've done an amazing job so far.
Thank you.
I imagine he probably doesn't give you any art direction at this point.
Occasionally, no. It's really just, hey, I need this thing, and I just do it. A lot of time, flyers and stuff like that, it's just like, hey, here's the event. I'm like, what is it? He's like, I don't know. And I was like, cool. So then I just figure it out, and that's how it comes about. But we also just recently opened up a coffee shop, and this is not necessarily pinball related, but it's a gaming coffee shop. We've got board games. There's a big crossover.
You'd be surprised, man. Coffee is huge in pinball. In fact, What's Brewing, which is a company that makes amazing beans, and as I mentioned recently, has just become actual sponsor of the channel. But that's not the only roastery that does that. There was another person talking on Logan Arcade that was saying that they were a roastery and that they have pinball machines at their roastery. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's super. So clearly you play a lot of pinball at Revenge of.
Yes.
So do you have any pinball machines?
I don't. Yes. Yet. Yeah, the emphasis is big on yet. I have a short list of games that I would love to go for.
What's on your short list?
Well, short list for newer games would be Elvira or Godzilla.
Which Elvira? Which Godzilla?
Yes.
Unfortunately, there's been so many pinball machines that you got to kind of narrow it down now.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Stern Godzilla. Although, I love your anniversary in the background here, the black and white. But I do love all the color of the. I'd go for a premium. LE if I could track it down, kind of thing.
That's a game that's good either way. I think the Pro flies a lot quicker, but there's something about launching your ball into Godzilla's tummy.
Mecha Godzilla's tummy.
Yeah,
I love that.
He does. He's really good at holding those balls.
He holds those balls
midsection.
Yep, Mecha Godzilla holding balls.
All right, so Elvira, Party Monsters, House of Horrors.
No, House of Horrors. Okay. Elvira House of Horrors for any newer Stern game.
Scared Stiff,
Scared Stiff rules, but see, I'm talking games that I know I'm going to be easier to find and potentially can afford. But then from there, Whitewater. I want a Whitewater at some point in my life. I need one. But then, Whitewater's down there. There it is. Ooh, baby, howdy, partners. But because I work at a pinball arcade, I get my fix. Right. I don't have as much of that need to own. I also do not have the financial stability to do so.
Pinball machines are expensive, but some of the older games aren't as pricey, and it sounds like you do have kind of a love for this little mosquito. Is just get out of here. can I ask you then, like, if you were going to add more of a vintage game to your collection, which you seem like that you are into, can I toss a few ideas to you? You tell me which one of these you would like.
Sure.
All right, we'll do 3.
Okay,
right?
go for it. Yep.
Of these vintage games, which of these would you put into your collection?
Sure.
Raven.
Mm-hmm.
Raven.
Mm-hmm.
Raven.
Oh, wow. All right. This is a hard choice. So we've got Raven.
Yeah.
Raven.
That's correct. That's correct.
Raven?
It's an interesting way of presenting that.
Raven?
Okay.
This one.
Yeah.
Definitely
the third
Raven.
one. Specifically
the third Raven that you called out.
Okay.
Raven rips, dude. I love your love for Raven. Raven.
It's a meme game.
It's mean.
It's a meme game.
I got to play it at Ace. Loved it.
They pulled it out of there pretty much. It was like they pulled it out
Can
of there.
we go get it?
I would love to.
Can we do like divorced parents? Like I get on the weekends, you get on the other weekends.
Can I tell you a secret?
What?
On Pinside, my watch list, Raven's on there. I am on the lookout for a Raven.
Yeah, Raven to me is although it's a tough play, it is the entire package of the knockoff exploitation style of Rambo.
But this was a Gottlieb staple, and even outside of that, Williams did a lot of that too. So, for example, if you don't know this, Road Kings was actually supposed to be a samurai themed game, and then when Mad Max came out, they ended up reskinning it to be this post-apocalyptic thing, and then just slapped some generic name on it.
Yeah. But that's those types of games.
I'm surprised they didn't call it like Grumpy Bill or something like that
instead of Mad Max.
Right? Yeah.
Grumpy Gus. Yep. Hey, here's Grumpy Gus.
I'm Annoyed Eugene. That's my favorite pinball machine right there.
Annoyed Eugene.
Thanks, Williams.
Yep.
What is the future of Counterflip?
The future of Counterflip feels nebulous because it exists amongst all of this stuff that I do. You know, and outside of Revenge of and Disperso Media for all the movie shirts, I do freelance work for boutique Blu-ray labels and other musicians, and my time is divided constantly.
Right.
But the thing is that when I'm not doing all of that, I'm playing pinball. And when I'm not playing pinball, I'm thinking about pinball. When I'm not watching movies, I'm thinking about pinball.
When you're not playing pinball, I'm thinking about that you should be playing pinball while you're thinking about pinball.
And then my ears start ringing because I can tell Jeff's thinking about me thinking about playing pinball when I'm not playing pinball.
It's like, the broadcast from the Great Pyramid is like penetrating your head.
It's there.
Yeah. It's to try to get you to get back in.
Its frequency is loud.
It's very loud.
It's very loud. But Counterflip, there is a massive amount of games whose artwork is hugely inspirational. You know, I see Wedgehead always do the hey, we used to make games that look like this, and we still can.
That brings up, thank you for throwing a question idea to me. So how do you go about determining which next game you're going to do? Like, obviously, selling the shirts is important.
It's important, yes.
It needs to be one that people have a kind of nostalgic attachment to.
Sure.
I'm assuming that available resources for the graphics may come into play in terms of being able to acquire high-resolution assets and things like that.
Of course, yeah.
Tell me a bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is just vibes. A lot of it is going through games that I enjoy, other people enjoy, or that I think have a very strong visual identity. But then it is also, as we're going to be getting started, because we now have only gotten 5, 6, 7, 8 shirts in total. You see which ones do and don't sell, and you see which ones people respond to and how you do it. I mean, I adore this Whitewater shirt, but it is on a blue t-shirt. A blue t-shirt isn't always the easiest sell.
I'm guessing black and white probably sell.
Black and white sell the best. And, you're wearing the Centaur shirt, which is, to me, one of the best art packages ever. Yep. But it isn't a game everyone knows. It isn't a game everyone has
But they
played.
should. It's the OG black and white.
Yep.
Or one of.
One of, yep. And they rip. So when I'm choosing games, I'm trying to think of differences in theme. When I do movie-related stuff, it's all double features. How can these actually work together? When I'm doing Counterflip, it's let's give everybody a taste of everything. Right now, I'm working on a Xenon shirt. One of my all-time favorite games. That's a classic I would love to own.
Famous sound designer, Susan Gianni.
Yep. I got to see her live not too long ago.
Very cool.
And it was a mind-blowing experience. And all of her sound design work on that game is what helps set it apart. Aside from the beautiful tube ramp action.
Tube shot? No, that's not the call-out.
No, yeah.
Shoot tube.
Shoot tube. Or no, get
tube ramp. Shoot tube ramp.
It's
Someone help us out here.
I don't know, please. Beam this info.
Put it in the comments.
Come on, yeah. Anyways, that game rips, and I love the way it looks too.
Yeah, it's got a great style.
Really, really great style. A very, very like mid-century modern futurism, 60s, 70s design to it.
Almost
and
like
then
Metropolis-esque kind of like.
Yep, very cool. Almost like Fifth Element, the blue opera alien kind of head with like floating, space explorers. And then you've got the one at your center drain with the butt prominent.
So
more butt center drains.
How would you put the tube on the shirt? Like, how can you do a Xenon shirt without tube?
It needs tube somehow. I haven't quite figured that out.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Maximum tube.
Maximum tube. Need all tube. Long tube.
Tube on the arms?
Long sleeves.
Tube
shot long sleeves. Look at that. We're coming up with ideas
such a good idea.
on air. It's actually a sick idea.
I love that.
It's a really sick idea.
Oh, my God.
And here's the thing, is that it's niche. It's very specific. And right now, as a small creator, it's now going to be hard to get those into the hands of people who love pinball and love pinball merch, because it doesn't always go hand in hand.
So can I ask you, I'm going to guess, but I want to ask you, can I ask you what your most successful selling shirt is and least successful? Okay, well, hold on, before you say it.
Okay.
I think that your most successful shirt is either going to be Medieval Madness or Attack from Mars.
You hit Attack from Mars.
Okay.
And, well, Medieval Madness sold good. Attack from Mars sold the best, hands down. I'm going to revisit that because I want to do front and back and add some more art.
That's one of your, like, older original ones.
That was one of the first ones that we did. That's actually the first design I did, too, because the game manual, just amazing illustration right on the front, and the big, bold Impact Helvetica Arial font of just Attack from Mars.
It reads easy.
Yes. Yeah. But then Medieval Madness sold well, and then Monster Bash also sold crazy.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
So the least selling is, again, the one we keep referencing.
It's either Whitewater or Fishtails. But these are also new releases, too.
Fishtails actually has sold pretty well. People love it.
No way.
When we were at Midsummer Scream, a little like horror convention. Well, not little, it's actually the biggest in the world. But I had brought the Counterflip shirts because we had a big Revenge of booth, and people were buying Fishtails just because it was fishing themed. They'd never played the game. They didn't know what it was. Same with Monster Bash, but that's easy. It's Universal Monsters. We're at a horror convention. People are like, what's that? I'm like, it's a pinball game. They're like, no way.
Didn't realize that fishing was the hobby that blended over with pinball so much.
I mean, I guess it does. I mean, I love the stories of how they were just hanging out fishing. Like, we should make a fishing game. Pinball, yeah. We should make a fishing game. Totally. My dad was a fisherman, and that game to me is the most my dad game.
Right on.
So that's why I love it. But yeah, those...
Excellent Chris Granter soundtrack as well.
Yes. Amazing. Yep. So...
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like, thank you for taking the time to...
Thank you so much for having me.
To dumping your life story from 15-year-old failed t-shirt
I'm going to make a
business
t-shirt brand.
To incredibly successful and talented graphic artist for your own company and for
I made a t-shirt brand. Yeah,
you done did it.
I done did it.
You done did it.
I done did it.
15-year-old you would be super stoked, man. I'm
very
serious.
stoked, yeah. Thank you.
Well, so one thing I asked all my guests also, this is a little weird because we're doing it in person. If you do like this format, let me know. For people that live in the Los Angeles area, I'm trying to do more of this. I think it's just a more authentic kind of like chit chat. And if you dig that, hopefully you do, and we'll do more of them. Is there anything going on for Counterflip, or I guess Revenge of, that you'd like to specifically take the time to plug?
Yeah, absolutely. As far as events go, we have a holiday market. We used to do Krampus Village.
Nice.
Krampus is a little out of fashion these days. Too many Krampuses. So we're just doing a classic Santa. Cramped. It's cramped. Krampus is cramped. Okay? And he's cramping. But so we're doing a Santa Village, December 13th. I actually will be there as Counterflip and Disperse. I'm going to have a double booth. So if you are around the Los Angeles area, come out December 13th, Saturday, 6 to 9 p.m. I'm going to have all the Counterflip shirts. So if you want to come get them in person and skip the shipping, which is cool, you can come get them in person and check them out. Disperse, I always do Monster Palooza, which is another big horror convention, but that's not till May. So just looking forward to getting through the holidays and just playing more pinball.
Hell yeah.
I just want to play more pinball.
I truly mean it that these are the best pinball shirts. You see them on my stream all the time. I try to wear some sort of pinball-related paraphernalia or my scanner shirt, which seems to get a lot of work. Check out Counterflip's website. We'll put it down in the description. There are shirts available of sizes.
Yes, a whole bunch of stuff is available on the store.
Nice. Can you go through your size ranges of shirts that are available?
I always try to get... for Counterflip size, small to 2X and some 3Xs. But if you reach out, we can always order more and get you your size.
There you go. If you're tiny or big bone, you got it covered.
We're gonna get you covered.
Get you literally covered.
Literally covered.
With fabric.
With cool designs on them of games you love.
Or don't love. If you'd like to buy...
if you want to buy games you hate, that's fine too.
What's your least favorite game in your lineup?
That's a ridiculous.
Don't cheat. Come on. What are you doing?
Least favorite. I guess OG Black Knight, but that's insane to say because I literally have a Black Knight tattoo.
Yeah, you're shitting on it.
Yeah, but it's just like
This
rather.
is modern Black Knight, though.
No, it is. This is this is sort of rage. But I love all three. But it's the one I would play the least. If all of them were in front of me, I would go for 2000 first.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But then I'd be like, well, now I want to play Fishtails. Maybe Monster Bash. I played that too much.
There's also, did we show off the Demo Man one?
Oh, no, dude. This is an incredible, incredible Williams game. But also an incredible movie.
Both true. Also, one of the only pinball machines that has giant grips on it that you can use, which is like practically cheating in tournament.
Trigger canyons are so sick.
Oh, look at that. That's got to be, how many? This is like 3-4 color print? Like
3 color, yep. But I made the most of it.
Sure.
To make it look
like
sick.
that, with the outlining on here makes it pop so
for
good.
The
print quality on this
pinball,
is insane.
For the pinball heads, I literally took a photo of the side art to use for the t-shirt. That's from the game.
Yeah, but the way you've outlined it and given it like dimensionality with that, it looks so good.
Love you. Love you, Wesley. Love you.
All right. So with that, let's send it off. We'll do a little praising the pyramid. There's nobody to raid because this isn't live. There will be
the pyramid, the great.
Oh my God, you got a pyramid tattoo.
Yeah, bro.
See, Carl, you're an idiot, Carl. This is the real pyramid right here. All praise. Thank you for watching, everybody.